Hey guys, it's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about something kind of serious, but something that's been happening to the ZR2s. Specifically, what's been happening with the airbags exploding unexpectedly on ZR2 owners while they're off-road having fun in their ZR2s as they're supposed to be. So let's go ahead and take a little ride and talk about what's going on with that airbag deployment problem. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with these airbags blowing up on the Colorado ZR2s and other Colorados that are going off-road. Well, that's the key right there. It's only really happening when you take your Colorado off-road. Well, you might be saying the ZR2 is designed to go off-road. Why is it happening even to the ZR2s? Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. First, you gotta understand how these airbags work. These airbags, these side deployment airbags especially, are designed to go off exactly before you have an incident. So what does that mean? It means it has to detect when your truck or car is about to roll over. It can't wait until the impact to go ahead and operate. By then it's too late. Your head probably already hit the impact, or already hit the side of the vehicle, and you have head trauma, and then there'd be no point for an airbag to deploy. Actually, it'd be worse. Can you imagine you roll over in your truck and your head hits here, and then you get the airbag hitting you in your head? You don't want that. That's just awful. So what happens is it has to know when to go off. And, I'm sure they have very sophisticated algorithms to know, there's certain, parameters have to be in motion, have to be set for it to actually go off. It has to be a certain speed and a certain angle of attack and there's G meters involved, G meters, gravity meters. All of these different factors are going to play into when the airbag is going to deploy. And, people think airbags are pretty much, an instant-on thing, and they're just not. By the time the computer signals the airbag, hey, turn on, you need to turn on, it takes a few seconds for it to actually go from the computer to the airbag and for it to actually implement itself, explode. Because while it is an explosion, it can't be too rough of an explosion because of the aforementioned issue of if you roll over and your head's already there, it can't really explode on your face. Older airbags did do that, and a lot of people had face damage and skin damage from it. You can still get that with modern airbags, but they're not quite as bad. So there's algorithms built in to your truck and to your car to know when to deploy those airbags. That's the other problem, litigation. So you'd think that, if you put it on off-road mode, if you put the ZR2 in off-road mode, the computer should know you're off-road and these types of situations are going to happen. So basically it's going to turn off your airbag. The problem with that is this is a country of litigation. And if you, as a customer, were going down the road and you put it in off-road mode just for fun, and you're having, fun shenanigans in your ZR2, as a lot of people do, and you went ahead and rolled over and your airbag did not deploy, you can sue Chevrolet for the airbag not deploying properly. Even if you put it on off-road mode and there's a chance that the airbag may not explode, and they could put it in the manual if they do that, still, if you have bodily harm because the airbag did not explode, and if the airbag would have gone off and it would have saved you, there's grounds for litigation there. And the last thing Chevrolet wants is for their customers to get hurt. That's bad for PR. That's bad for, obviously, you don't want to get sued and all those things. So they had to design an airbag system around those parameters. You can't design it on, oh, they're going to be going off some crazy mountain road at 60 miles an hour, and they're going to make this huge jump, and it's going to land really hard, and you know, the computer's not going to really know that. Now, can they put a switch? Can they do this and that? Yes, but like I said, litigation, you know, you're just asking to get sued at that point. So what are the steps that we as owners should take to try and mitigate that airbag from going off? Well, I've been thinking about that actually, because you know, I do intend to take this truck off-road, and the last thing I want is for my airbag to go off when it shouldn't be going off. It's a very expensive repair, and I'm not sure if Chevrolet is going to cover all the airbags going off. I heard the people that I've heard, you know, it's happened to 2 or 3 people. Honestly, it hasn't happened that much, and I've seen these ZR2s go off-road all over the place. So while I'm saying this, you know, there's an issue with it, there hasn't been that many issues with it, so honestly, it's not really as big a deal as people are making it out to be. But it is good to talk about because it can happen to just about anybody with a ZR2. And from my experience, the way I am with my vehicles, the way I you know, if I'm going off-road, I'm going to send it. I'm just going to send it. So I have the most possibility of actually getting my airbag deployed. So what am I going to do? Well, a couple of things. I'm going to make sure I do whatever the forums are telling me to do, which is basically either pulling a fuse or maybe doing something to make sure that my airbag system does not go off. There's different solutions people are starting to look at, possibly even taking their truck and putting like a switch themselves, a manual switch, so that they can pull a fuse and replace it with a switch, and you can turn it on and off as you go. You know, when you go off-road, you go ahead and flip a switch, and then you don't have the airbag going off anymore. That's something I'll be looking at. It'd be cool if Chevrolet offered it. I really doubt they ever will. It's just not something that a car company can really offer. Hey, you want to turn off your airbag? I'm not even sure if regulations allow that. I'm not sure if regulations allow tampering with that. It'd be like, hey, you know, you want to bypass your catalytic converter? Here's a button for you to do that. No, I'm pretty sure that the United States government would have a couple of things to say about that. It's unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. The fact of the matter is, when you're off-roading, the computers, you know, are sensing that something might be off, and you may need that airbag deployed, and it'll go ahead and deploy for you. So it's something to think about when you're off-road. Even if you don't own a ZR2, even if you own a Toyota or even a Honda, you know, I don't imagine Ridgeline's going too much off-road. But if you are taking your Ridgeline off-road, take an opportunity to think about that. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. All right, guys, thanks for watching as usual. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.